Hi everyone, Coyote Montana here. Now, now I'm gonna tell you something about this, and it's, what are tsunamis? Well, first off, we all heard of waves. Waves are like, that's from the wind and the gravity that's from the water, like the ones in the beaches. So when it goes up like that, and then it comes down, and it just goes, and it keeps going until it hits the spot on land, which is the beach. Hawaii has one of the big waves where people can surf on, of course. That's why I've been watching Lilo and Stitch. Live action remake is coming. And also, what else? And, oh yeah, and Aloha Scooby-Doo. Now, there's one thing you might be wondering, and it's about tsunamis. Now, a tsunami is a really big wave, and they're really deadly, and it could destroy things. Houses, and people could die from that too. And what caused tsunamis? Well, three things. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and landslides. Let's start off with the first one. Earthquakes. Now, we know that there are tectonic plates on planet Earth that actually moves, because again, they actually go like this, and they're the ones that form a lot of mountains and volcanoes, of course. But here's something that I noticed. You see, Japan, of course, Japan has gone through with a lot of earthquakes, big ones, and some tsunamis actually hit there. Like the one in 2011 that I saw, of course, on the news. Now, here's the thing. When tectonic plates actually still collide and go like this, there's one thing you might know. The spot right here starts to slip, to go like that, and it starts to slip, and when it hits, it causes a big earthquake. And once it did, it'll go like that, and it'll cause a tsunami. And it'll hit towards land, depending on how big it is. You see, the earthquakes in Japan are like the big history sort of thing. But there was this earthquake that actually hit towards India and Sumatra, and it was the magnitude 9.0 earthquake, which turned out to be really big, and it caused a tsunami that hits towards India back in 2004, and it was on my birthday. Yeah, it was actually happened on my birthday on around 2004. People were surprised, and there were documentaries about it too. And also, there's also a history that happened, which turned out to be the largest earthquake ever. The 9.5 earthquake, and that hit towards Chile. It was big, and it caused everything. And then there's another one. The great earthquake of San Francisco. That actually happened because of the San Andreas Fault. The fault that everyone knows about for so many years, of course. And the last time the fault was triggered was around 2004. And that was about it. But earthquakes did actually start happening when the tectonic plates first formed, when the continents were still whole. And that's how they broke off. Tectonic plates and earthquakes. It was known as the very first great earthquake ever. Just like I noticed it on The Land Before Time, the classic Don Bluth film from Universal, when Pat Hinkle was the narrator, when he says, a great earthquake split the land. And I think I know what he means by split the land. A really big earthquake that caused the continents to split and drift, and that until what they are now. Just like in How the Earth Was Made, when the narrator says, continents shift and clash, volcanoes erupt. Yeah, and there is also, even when that earthquake happened in Chile, the 9.5 one, it also caused a tsunami, and it hit towards Hawaii and other places too. Yeah. And now for the next one that also caused tsunamis. Volcanic eruptions. Here's an example. Krakatoa. When the Krakatoa volcano erupted in 1883, and it was catastrophic, it caused a tsunami that hit both Java and Sumatra, killing a lot of people. And then in 2018, Anak Krakatoa, known as the child or son of Krakatoa, in 2018, when Anak Krakatoa had that big eruption, it caused a landslide on the side and caused a tsunami. And some people died from that too. But Anak Krakatoa is now reforming again, of course, since I actually checked it out. But there's also the Hunga Hapai volcano that caused a tsunami. How it actually happened is that when it erupted, the water went through the cracks, making the magma go all like that, and then it caused a big eruption, a VI5 eruption, and then it caused a tsunami and hit towards Japan, New Zealand, the parts of the U.S., and part of North America, South America, and including the islands of Java. And it caused a shockwave. Yeah, so when that eruption happened, it caused a tsunami around it. There's actual footage of the eruption, of course, and it shows the thing of the tsunami. And then there's another tsunami that happened in Washington State on May 18th, 1980, and it's with the eruption of Mount St. Helens, which I'll talk about. Because there was a landslide on the north side of Mount St. Helens, and it erupted from the north side, and that eruption was catastrophic, of course. But there was a lake there, and then when it hits, it caused a tsunami there. Yeah, that's scary. And probably the same thing go with Mount Stromboli if it ever happens. If Mount Stromboli goes for a big eruption, the pyroclastic flow will start to hit towards down and hits the water and causes a tsunami that will hit towards Naples and Pozzuoli. That's deadly. And now for the third one, because the first one was earthquakes, the second one was volcanoes, and now the third one, landslides. Now there are landslides out there that actually happened, and what causes it is that when a landslide hits down, it hits the water, like Mount St. Helens as an example. So again, eruption on the north side of Mount St. Helens, and then it hit towards the water there, and it caused a tsunami, of course. And then probably it'll go the same thing with Mount Etna, since I noticed it on Mega Disasters, documentary series narrated by J.V. Martin. So, but there is there are landslides that are like that too. But there is one that could cause a really big wave known as a mega tsunami, which they're really pretty rare, which never actually happens until many years later, which I won't be around. So, there's an island off the coast of Africa and Spain called La Palma. There's the extinct volcano there that has happened many years ago, and then there's the young one that has cones there where the eruption comes. According on Mega Disasters and How the Earth Was Made, when they're talking about it, that spot could cause a landslide and it could hit towards North America and South America and hit in the parts of Africa and Europe, I believe. And it would cause a big mega tsunami, of course. And everything could be wiped out and everything. But it won't happen until many years later. Yeah. But I won't be around when that happened. I mean, there's a bunch of other tsunamis that actually happened. There was a tsunami that happened during the time of the dinosaurs when an asteroid hit towards Earth, and it caused a big tsunami and a climate change, of course. Which is pretty big, and really big. But the big tsunami of all is actually in movies, when a big spacewalk hit towards the water, like Brace for Impact from 1998. A good movie, of course. Yeah, so that's the thing about tsunamis. And to the people who actually seen about tsunamis and stuff, here's the thing. Try to evacuate when the earthquake happens and if the tsunami happens. Evacuate real quick so you can be safe and sound. Well, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like, send some comments, and hit the bell button for brand new videos, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everyone.